Today, we are joined by Elle O'Hare, the creator behind Don't Be a Lemon, a channel that's part financial therapy, part de-influencing, and a little bit about shopping addictions.
I was in a place where I had a massive shopping addiction for 2 decades. I ran through like probably $100,000 worth of income. I cannot tell you what I spent that money on. I don't know what I was thinking.
Elle went public after starting over at 39 after burning through her entire savings and 401k.
Drained my 401k, but I did it 3 different times, which means you're paying taxes 3 different times.
How much was in your 401k?
Probably $140,000.
Then she documented on YouTube paying off $49,000 of debt in 12 months while building a YouTube audience that trusts her complete and radical transparency in her journey.
I was in about $49,000 of debt. A lot of that was a car, which I made a video on. It was a huge mistake. And then it was also back taxes from real estate. So I use this channel to get better at personal finances. I'm just sharing what I know and what I learned.
In this conversation, we break down how her YouTube channel changed her life, how she got started as a complete newbie with a full-time job and another side hustle, and then we go deep into her thoughts on how AI is shaping the creator economy. That's a really interesting conversation that you're gonna wanna listen to. And if you want a blueprint for growing on YouTube with a busy schedule without losing your voice or your audience's trust, then this interview is for you. Hi, my name is Erika Vieira. I'm a YouTube strategist and coach, having helped over 2,000 women behind the scenes grow on YouTube. Now, this channel is real talk for women, entrepreneurs, and creatives on YouTube. We talk about the stuff that doesn't usually get talked about to give you an insider look of the good, the bad, and the ugly. And for more information about me, how I work with and help creators like yourself, the links are in the description below. Ladies, class is in session. So Elle, in your first YouTube video, you just laid it out to everyone, right? You were 39, you were, your savings are gone, your 401k was drained, starting over. What prompted you to share all of that personal journey on YouTube?
Yeah, honestly, I think about I cannot watch this video, and I've had a lot of viewers say, "Hey, I've gone back and watched your first one. You've had such a change." And I cannot bring myself to watch it because I was in a place where I had a massive shopping addiction for 2 decades. And I knew I had a problem. I don't think I knew the severity of it. And so I had these bouts of trying to do no buys and saving and budgeting, and I failed at each one. And then during COVID, I left my full-time job and I was like, I'm going to sell real estate because I really just wanted a full change. I left my relationship, the house I knew, everything. It's like, I'm going to sell real estate. Well, the problem is that real estate, you work on a commission and
I did
you
real estate
only,
for like 5 years.
yeah,
Yeah, I did commercial real estate. I know exactly how it is.
you have to be smart with your money. And I was not. So I left a relationship where I had a job, but I was taken care of financially. And so I had a lot of spending habits that I didn't really suffer from the financial consequences. So when I left that, I got into real estate, I still had those habits. And I was selling real estate and I was spending like crazy and I did not want to get another job. And so I was just running through everything. I ran through like probably $100,000 worth of income. I cannot tell you what I spent that money on. And then I wanted to stay in real estate. I was like, I need to make this work. I believe in myself. I can do this. Drain my 401k, but I did it 3 different times, which means you're paying taxes 3 different times.
How much was in your 401k?
Fellow, like probably 140,000. I cannot forgive myself yet on this. Like, just saying this makes me want to throw up. I don't know. I just said this in my last video. I don't know what I was thinking. I did not understand the consequences. I knew it was important, but I did it so haphazardly. And my actions then are not something I would ever do now. And I look back at that person. I'm like, why the hell did you do that? But I think it did bring me into YouTube, which was good. So I was watching Ramit Sethi, I Will Teach You to Be Rich. And I was reading his book. And then he goes through all of these steps that you have to do. So I go through my entire bank account, all of my statements from the last 6 months. And I realize that I am spending way more than I am making. And not only that, I'm spending way more on my nails and hair and shopping and spray tanning and dining out than I was on my bills. And I was like, I got the most amount of chills and I wanted to throw up at the same time. I was like, holy crap. So I made a plan, a financial plan, and I was like, I felt like in watching YouTube and all of the people that were talking about how to get better with your money and how to stop spending, I feel like nobody could relate to me. Nobody else was speaking the way I was speaking, like that they felt like they wanted to still look presentable and put together and cared about their appearance, but like also had issues with self-confidence because I really suffered from low confidence. I'm like, nobody represented me. And so I used it as an accountability partner. I was really fed up and I was like, I'm just gonna post this. Nobody's gonna see it. It's gonna be a video diary. And I'm just going to, I was like, I'm gonna make 100 videos. Like, no matter what, I'm gonna make 100 videos. And then from then, I will decide what I want to do with this channel or going forward. I didn't think anything would come of it. And so I sat down and filmed my first video. And I basically, from what I remember, I just said everything I was thinking because I knew that there was at least somebody out there that felt the way I did in terms of all of the stupid decisions and reasons why I made them, which was really just status, low confidence, appearance, like that it all stemmed from that.
Hmm.
And so that's how my first video was born.
Do you have any background in video editing or anything like that? Because, I have found, because I work with a lot of people, I have found that's a big hindrance, especially people that don't have a background in that, to getting onto
Yeah.
YouTube.
So I was actually one of the I have a regret of going into real estate. I have a regret of all the things I did, but then I look back at them and I'm like, they all led me to this because
Okay, yeah.
without each piece, I wouldn't have been where I am right now. And so when I was in real estate, it forced me to do short form video. And
Mm,
so I made a ton of Instagrams every day. I tried to post an Instagram video and it was so awkward. I get alerts from Facebook and they're like, remember when you had this video? And I watch it and
you're
I'm
like,
like,
"No."
oh, it's so bad. But that helped me talk to camera. And then I had a very short lived YouTube channel for real estate, not to make money, not to be monetized, not brand sponsorships, just to get lead generation. And so that forced me to talk to camera in long form video and also edit videos. And then I went to the marketing side of real estate. And so now I do all the video editing and social media behind the scenes. So those two put together
Mm,
helped me. I think if I had not gone into real estate and not been forced to be on social media, I don't know that it would have been way more awkward because I did have some comfort level in front of the camera. So I'm really grateful for that.
yeah, you knew how to edit and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's huge. That's great. And so what was going through your mind when you first uploaded it? Because to get onto YouTube, usually it's like, yeah, nothing's gonna come from it. But was there like a little bit of you that said, well, maybe something might come from it? Because to say I'm gonna do 100 videos, that's a lot of a commitment for something that nothing's gonna happen, you know?
Yeah, I know. I didn't The reason why I said 100 videos is because uh I have this thing with instant gratification and dopamine, which is why I had a shopping issue. And so my tendency throughout life is that I get really excited about something, start
Um,
it,
and
dig
then,
into it for a
hmm
little while, and then leave it when I got bored. And so
hmm
that was really my motivation because I was like, I want to do this, get better with my finances because I failed so many times. And so those two together, I was like, I'm going to stick to both of them. If I'm making a video every week, I'm also getting better with my finances every week. So they were combined.
hmm
And I heard somebody say, you need to do something 100 times before you can actually figure out if you're decent at it or if it's going to work. I was nervous when I posted it, but I was a little nervous, but I didn't think anybody would find it. I did not, and it was quiet at first, but I
hmm
think that somebody did a reaction video. There's like a guy, I can see his face, I don't know his name, and he did a reaction video to, and he had a decent following, my video.
Yeah.
I got some hate for it, which
Okay.
is fine because I messed up a lot. I made a lot of poor decisions. But he was not the kindest, but
Mhm.
he was also honest, which is fine. And that brought over a lot of people. And some people were like, hey, I came over. I just want to say, I'm so thankful you said this and you came out and said what you wanted to say. I got so many responses too. Some of it was negative because I find that once you hit like you have a certain amount of people that watch your video. Once you go over that, you get a lot of people who are like super negative and comment poorly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then I had a lot of people say I helped them just because I'm saying what they wanted to say or thought, but didn't know how to say it out loud. And honestly, it was also really therapeutic because what I found was in making that first video and others after it, I I had these thoughts, but when you actually speak them out loud, it brings more clarity to what you're thinking and feeling when you actually have to put it into words. And it just helps me process more. So I was nervous, but it was fine. So when he ended up reacting, it started getting more popular. And then I was like 3 videos in, and I had to tell my boyfriend that I had a YouTube channel because I was like, there's a
He didn't
chance you.
know?
No, he didn't. Nobody knew.
Oh,
Nobody
okay.
knew.
Okay.
It was a
Okay.
secret because I
Okay.
didn't want anybody to know. But then I was like, "Hey, just in case he has a daughter and he has a sister and my sisters," and I was like, "This might come across their channel. I don't know, but I need you to
Mm-hmm.
know what I talked about."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was
Wow.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually tell people that, like, don't you don't need to tell anyone you're up doing a YouTube channel. Like, you
Yeah.
don't need to do that. Because sometimes people get talked out of things, and it's just like that action of just doing it, knowing
Yeah.
it'll be cringy, knowing it'll not be perfect, but just doing it. So, how has having a YouTube channel and having such public accountability impacted your finances and this journey that you're on?
I just got chills because it is like I tell everybody in my life, if you have any desire to get on YouTube yesterday. It is life-changing for me because it's done so much. I use it as an accountability partner to like figure out my crap and what I'm doing and just get better. But in turn, I've learned so much about myself, about like why I shopped, how I thought about things. It made me just recognize my thoughts going through my head throughout the day and how I'm feeling and what I'm doing. And I use this channel to get better with finances and to get out of debt because I was in about $49,000 of debt. A lot of that was a car, which I made a video on. It was a huge mistake. And then it was also back taxes from real estate. So I use this channel to get better at personal finances. But at the same time, it was making me better and it was also making me money.
Mhm.
So when I got monetized, I think it was like month 4, and I made like $300. And I told my boyfriend, I'm like, this is insane. The fact that I would make this video for free forever and they're paying me, like I'm getting money from it. It was mind boggling. It was so crazy that I did not touch it. I did not look at it for a long time.
Did not touch what? The money or the
YouTube income money. Like, I
Okay,
didn't
okay,
count it.
okay,
It was
okay.
it was not part of anything. I acted like it did not exist. I was like, I had it, and then it went into an account because I was like, it's like it just doesn't exist.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's been YouTube has been a monumental shift in my life in every single way, emotional, personal, financial. I cannot overemphasize it.
Yeah. What did you specifically change about your habits that a private experience never could by being so publicly? Because you've said that paying off debt is 80% behavior and
Yeah.
20% math, right? So it's obviously the behavior. Wh-
Mhm.
what about being so public actually changed your actual day-to-day habits?
Well, for one, I realized I never knew. I understood that I had low confidence, but I never understood the fact that, like, I wanted to be somewhere. I didn't feel well about myself mentally, like, physically. And I use anything, spray tanning, shopping, to mask that insecurity,
I
to
hear
kinda,
you.
like, cover it, right?
Mhm.
And so one, talking through it actually made me realize. Then I started to actually, this sounds crazy, but like I actually just started to think about the physical thing that was happening to me. It was like, okay, I want to shop. Why do I want to shop? because all of this stemmed from shopping and spending money on appearance. That's all it was. And it was like, it is literally a physical sensation and a mental thought. And so those two things, but you know what else was? For the very first, like, 7 months, I knew when I started to gain an audience, I knew I would have to go onto the video and be like, "Oh, I spent this." And they were my accountability partners, and they called me out for it all the time, and I was like, I would think about that because there was still times when I wanted to buy something, and I was like, "I'm gonna have to go on video and say that I spent this and then hear the backlash," and I didn't want to. And I've also just been learning a lot about just dopamine and what is happening. And I went to Target this morning and to go buy headphones, and I was looking at all this stuff and I got a rush. Like, I got that instant rush. I was like, "Oh my god, this is so exciting." Like, all this stuff, cuz I haven't been in a store in forever. And
Yeah.
then I caught myself instantly. I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And then I started to think, like, all these people just want my money and it's a game
I mean,
and I'm not gonna let you
but
take
it
my
is
money.
though.
Yeah,
That is the
right.
reality is that
I'm like, "You're not gonna
everywhere,
take my money."
online, social media, that's what a store is all about.
Yeah. So I was like, "No, you're not gonna win. I'm gonna win." And so
Not
I was like,
today.
yeah, right. So I just quelled it automatically. But there's so many different things. Like, I think I've made a lot of videos on this. Like, there's so many different things I've done to on the YouTube channel that I never did prior, that helped me just gain control of my finances. And really also budgeting too, because I never budgeted. I never looked at my money. I was a person who I could not look at my bank account. For months, I got this sick feeling in my stomach. And then once I started budgeting, I was like, oh, it's really important. You need to know where your money is going so you can
Mhm,
figure out what you're going to do. Even when I did no buys, I would do a no buy and I failed because all that money I was saving, I didn't know what I would be saving. And the money I was saving, I had no plan for. I'm like, is it gonna
mhm,
go to savings? Is it gonna go pay a bill? Nothing. I was just
mhm,
like, yeah, I'm just not gonna buy something for a little while.
mhm, mhm.
So
Wow. When you first started your YouTube channel, how did you decide what types of videos you would upload at the beginning?
I didn't. I really didn't. I knew I had watched quite a few personal finance because when I started this, I started just watching as much content as I could about
Mhm,
personal finance and saving and budgeting. And so that's one of the reasons why, because I was like, I can't relate to anybody. I uploaded my first video with no real clear idea on where I was going and what I would be posting. I just got I there's a trend in personal finance where you go through your budget every month. So I
mhm,
knew I would do that. But that aside, the way I get ideas now and the way I got ideas in the past was just from listening to podcasts and watching YouTube videos unrelated to personal finance. But something would spark an idea, and I would be like, oh, that's interesting. I can reframe that to
mhm,
me. Or I
mhm,
would see a BuzzFeed article or something come across, and I'm like, oh, that's a good angle. But I never sat down with a plan and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do A, B, and C. Even now, I don't have a full plan. I do have a running list of ideas. I get ideas throughout the day, all day. And some of them are really dumb and will never see the light of day, but I still write them down. And most of them, 99% of them, are prompted by everyday life, things that
mhm.
I see. And I just work on what inspires me. And
Yeah,
sometimes I have no inspiration. I just have to push through. But sometimes I'm just like, I've got nothing.
yeah. And what do you do in
Um,
that moment?
I just figure it out. There are some times when I get real anxiety before filming because um, I don't know why. I feel really anxious, especially when I don't want to talk about anything because I know I have to get a video up. It's really weird because there are weeks where I feel like I am bombarded. I'm flooded with ideas. I want to talk about 10 different things at once. I have a full-time job aside from this, and I want to just drive home and film all day. Then there are a week or two, and I'm kind of in this right now, where I'm like, I look at the laundry list of video ideas and I don't want to do anything. Like, none of it looks interesting. I'm like, will I have another new idea? Is this the end? Do I have to just shut it down? Will I never have another creative, spark again? And I always do. But I just have to tell myself, okay, I have to remind myself why I'm doing it, and then just be like, if it doesn't do well, if it doesn't perform well, it's fine. You're fine. It's, everybody has this. And that's basically what I do. I pick out the thing that's most interesting at the time and talk about that and
Mhm.
hope that I don't stumble my way through and it comes out somewhat decent.
Take me back to when your YouTube channel actually started to take off because you said that I didn't think anybody was going to watch it. At what point did you realize, oh no, people are watching this?
Yeah, like I think when that happened, I had what did trigger it is I did a video on there was a thing going on TikTok where all of these luxury brands were getting called out for manufacturing in China.
Mhm.
And about a week or 2 prior to that, I did a video on all the luxury purchases that I regretted because I've spent tens upon tens of thousands of dollars on designer items that were absolutely a waste of money and not worth it. And so I was talking to my coworkers and we were talking about how they all wanted to buy these Chanel bags, right? They were saving up. And I was like, this is crazy that we're talking so nonchalantly about spending $10,000 on a handbag. So I go home,
Mhm.
make the video, and that did really well. And then from then on, I've had some videos do better. Um, but nothing has really. The one thing that has shifted is that around June, I started to see my income from AdSense go up. And I started to just think like maybe I can actually do something with this. Like maybe this is not just, oh, I'm just posting and then not looking at it, not thinking about it. Maybe I can actually take this full-time-ish. I would probably
Mhm.
always have something on the side, but, that's actually what really shifted for me that I was like, "Okay, maybe I can do something with it," and I'm still in that. I'm still trying to figure it out. I do always feel like it's gonna go away tomorrow.
Mm.
It doesn't feel fully real yet. I still feel like it's just gonna shut off and go away, and I can't trust it. So I go back and forth with this all the time.
A lot of people feel like that with YouTube, that it's just going to turn off. And in some ways, I think it's not, I've always said this too to people, it's not a bad idea to have a full time job or not full, but some other job outside of YouTube. Because I go back to, um, Elizabeth Gilbert, and she writes Big Magic. And she always says, like, to be truly creative and to be really like in the creative zone, you can't really be thinking about how you're making money. And that's so contrast to like what a lot of people teach on YouTube. Like, how are you gonna make money on YouTube? How you making money, right? You want to make money on it, but you don't want that to get in the way of the creative process. And sometimes
Yeah.
having a what's it called? Just like a safety net allows you to be more creative and take those risks that you might not have otherwise done.
So what's interesting is that I talk about I get a lot of requests for like sponsorships or whatever. Some are real, some are not real. But my channel is on de-influencing and not buying and not spending. So I've never taken anything because I don't most of it there are things I believe in, but a lot of the ones that have come through my inbox I don't. So I've just ignored all of them. Um but I had not a management team, but somebody reached out to me and they're like, "Yeah, we get the brand deals, we bring them to you." And I'm starting to explore that now, but I was really clear. I was like, "Listen, I'm so particular that because I think I need to be really cautious and clear on what I advertise to my audience. Like it has to be something I so hardcore believe in." So she's like, "No, I get it." So I look at the list, I look at all the stipulations and everything that goes into it. And I found myself in that probably like a minute or two thinking, oh, I need to make sure I get enough views to get brand deals for this and this. Like my goal and mindset and reason behind it shifted for like 2 minutes. And I was like, this is what happens to everyone because you start relying on this money and that is your lifeline. And so you kind of compromise the things that you believe in. And so because of that, I would always try to have some sort of income so that I'm okay with or without it and I can keep going. I think that's super important.
And I think it also depends on the type of channel that you have too, because
Yeah.
your channel is more of a budgeting, no buy. So it's like it'd be very don't say not the word hypocritical, but what's the word? But it'd be a
Hypocritical.
disconnect.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're talking about buying this, I do think that there is a place for you to make money and have sponsors, which is probably why they brought you on, because there's definitely services and things that people would need and would use. But I think it is a different, it's a little different with your type of niche versus like I work with a lot of channels that are, I would call them shopping channels, and you probably watched them in the past, right? Like people doing
It's
the
what caused my
hauls and all that.
influence.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually have a channel I work with that she actually talks about how she started a channel to help her with her shopping addiction, and then she not help her to that basically fueled her shopping addiction, and that was almost like an excuse. It's like I have a YouTube channel, and like, well, I have to buy for it. So I think there's a lot of that going on. But anyways, but for those type of channels, it makes sense to have sponsors because you are talking about products. That is what you're doing, you know. But in the personal finance space, it's a great spot to be on YouTube because I don't know about your AdSense or your RPM or CPM, but most of the time that RPM and CPM is pretty high when you're talking about anything related to money.
Yeah. Last check, I think it's between $20 and $24. I
And that's
don't
really
know.
good. That's really
Yeah, I
good.
don't know
Well,
what
which
that
one? The
compares.
RPM or the CPM? Do you know?
CPM, maybe. I rarely look at my analytics, like once every like 5 months. So I don't actually know, but I did just look at it before. I don't know which one
Well,
it
what
is.
is that the one that you take home or the one that so, like, there's the one that you take home, which is the RPM, that's the
Yeah.
revenue, and or there's the cost. So the
Cost.
revenue is what you take home. So if you're taking
Cost.
home, like okay, so you're not that's not what you're actually taking home then is like 25 that's before YouTube takes their cut.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Possibly. I actually don't
Possibly, I
know. I
don't know.
should look.
I feel like it probably is actually closer to 25 for your RPM.
I am grateful. I do think about this niche because I did not think about the niche getting into this. Like I didn't consider any of it. And I'm grateful that I am because the shopping channels, that's one of the things that caused I was addicted to YouTubers that were like lifestyle, beauty, whatever. It was like huge into that. And that fueled my shopping addiction for many years. And I
Mhm.
think about that now and I'm like, I'm so grateful for the niche that I got into because it helped me get better with finances. And I think that if it had been anything else, which is easy to, especially in the world that we're in now with like TikTok shop and everything, it's easy to get into that type of content. And you are just buying and buying and buying and buying. And yes, there's a lot of brand deals that can come along with that, but you also have to invest so much to maintain a certain level of lifestyle and appearance that
You do.
is unattainable, in my opinion.
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
Yeah, and I find that a lot of people that get into it, they have revenue from other sources, you know,
yeah.
they have
Yeah.
and so it's not as big of an expense. It's those type of channels to be like a true lifestyle or shopping channel. It's very difficult to get into if like you're fully relying on that income from day one. Most of the time people have some like they're working full time or they've got a spouse or family or they've got money from somewhere because it's like
Mhm.
you said, there's a cost to it and a cost to maintain it. You can make a lot of money from it though. Once you get
Yeah.
going, you can make a
Mhm.
lot of money from it. But
Yeah.
you know, it's is you're constantly that's what that is. So can you share a moment where you felt like you were failing at YouTube?
All the time. I feel like I'm I'm not even like, I wish I had one pivotal moment, but I feel like I'm failing all of the time because I don't know. It's kinda weird. When I try not to compare myself to other creators because it just, like, it kills my psyche and it makes me go down a rabbit hole. But I never feel like I'm doing enough. And the thing is, I always want to do more. And this is why. So I have a side job and I have a full-time job and I have a YouTube channel. And so I do feel like I want to focus all my time on YouTube and I can't. I can only do a small amount. And so I feel like I'm failing that way because there's so many things I know I could be doing that I'm not. But I just feel like I don't know. I don't know wanna say a failure, but I just feel like at the end, I'm doing the most that I can do. And here's the interesting thing is that, I also feel fortunate the way that I started because if I was an education channel, I think I would have had some imposter syndrome and that if I got negative comments, it would hurt me. I always anticipated being really, affected by negative people on the internet, but it doesn't hurt me at all because what I've learned is that I'm just sharing what I know and what I learn. Like, it's my experience and nobody can tell me that it's wrong because I'm living it. And so it is what it is. If you don't like what I'm saying, it's fine. But for the most part, I don't care. I do get anxious right when I upload. I always feel like once I hit publish, everybody's gonna yell at me. I would have said something wrong. Everybody's gonna boycott my channel and it's gonna go to 0. And I don't know why I feel like this. And then once I see the first like 20 comments and they're fairly positive, I'm like, okay, we're fine. We're okay. And you go forward. And I suck right now at communication, like responding to comments. That's where I feel like I fail the most too, the communication part of it.
Why?
I feel like I I wanna have a connection with a lot of them. I look at all of the comments. I know the names of the people that constantly write on my channel. But sometimes just emotionally and mentally, I don't have the bandwidth to respond to them. Mostly because I'm just tired or I'm like feeling off for whatever reason. And I just feel bad because it is a we have a community and I feel like there is somewhat of a relationship. I know because I have parasocial relationships with the YouTubers that I watch and I always have. When somebody written about 3 comments on a YouTube channel in all the years I've watched YouTube, and you watch videos endlessly all day. And I feel like if somebody takes the time to write a comment on a channel, it must mean something. Like, it takes some effort to do that,
Mhm.
and to not respond, I feel guilty about.
But
So
you
sometimes I
still
get
but you still don't respond.
I do,
You
I
do.
do, but I can't respond to all
To
of them.
everything. You can't.
At some point, I cut it off, like, I try to for the first half hour to an hour, and then I
Okay.
stop, and then I see comments come through throughout the day, but I can't I just don't, I don't. It's something I really need to get better at.
What else are you doing other than YouTube? You said, are you still doing the real estate thing?
I work in marketing, so I have a full-time marketing job,
Mhm.
in for a real estate brokerage, which I suspect will be gone from AI, which is
Mm.
another
Mm.
reason why I'm, like, focusing on this now a little more. I think it'll be gone within a year. And then I also have a side job, which is also marketing for a company where I do Facebook ads, Microsoft ads, Google ads, and I manage that on the side.
Mm. Mm.
And so time management is really challenging right now. I'm like, I'm struggling a little bit mentally and I kind of just want to chill, but I don't. Like if I was doing this all day, I think I'd be fine. But I say that and then you get into it and then things change. So I don't know. But
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask is so then with running so is that a full-time job, the one with the real estate, the marketing?
yeah, 9 to
Like
5 in an office.
9 to 5, and then you have this other side hustle that's making you money, the ads. How many hours a week are you doing that?
Probably about 1 hour, a day,
Okay.
probably.
So then share with me your process for putting together YouTube, how much time you take. I think you use an editor. Walk us
Mhm.
through that whole process, just like from a weekly standpoint.
Yeah, so I have a laundry list of ideas. I usually have the hook, the thumbnail, just an idea. I don't have it ready. I will film on a Saturday, ideally,
Mhm.
one, and then I will film also on a Sunday. And then I have an editor, but I also edit about 50 to 60% of my videos as well. I don't give him all of them. So I will send it off to him and he will do some, or I will edit for 30 minutes in the morning before work. I will edit when I come home for about an hour, and I just do it in piecemeal when I can and hope that by Thursday or Friday, I have a video ready to go. And that's basically what I do.
Yeah.
It, yeah.
And you do 1 video a week.
I do 1 video a week. Sometimes I do two. Ideally, I would like to do 2 or 3 a week, but I don't really know how to do that yet. And I would like to do more short form video, but I don't right now because I just can't focus. I do cut it up. I use Opus Clip and I cut up my long form into short form and put it on TikTok and Instagram. I just started doing that. But yeah, right now it is 1 video per week.
Yeah. Yeah. And so how many hours total do you think it's taking you?
Um, Probably 2, 4, 5, 6, probably 10 hours a week, maybe. I don't know. Like, it's hard to figure out editing. So I feel like I'm constantly, any free time, I'm just editing.
I thought you had
So
an editor though.
I do, but there are certain videos I like to edit myself. Um, and I just don't always give him all of them. And I just hired him about 2 months ago.
Hmm.
So I haven't been doing that for that long. And then on top of that too, what I am doing is this actually takes up a decent amount of time. And I don't make videos on it, but I'm trying to learn as much as I can about the brain because I feel like everybody on YouTube talks about personal finance in terms of habits, like how to save, like save this much money, blah, blah, blah. But all of these purchasing decisions, at least for me, is based on emotion and dopamine and your brain and how you think, act, and feel. It's all behavior based. And so I basically spend at least 30 minutes a day reading medical journals or research studies or something, just so for my own personal use so that I can understand what the hell is going on. And because I think once you know, you can actually react to it differently. And at least if you understand what's going on, then you can make different decisions.
Yeah. Do you plan to talk about that on your channel?
Maybe I don't know how. This is the challenge because I don't know how to make it interesting.
Hmm.
I don't know how to make it interesting to the end user because I think it's so important. There are a lot of people who have shopping problems and spending
Yeah.
problems on that watch my channel because they
Hmm.
email me and they comment, and I don't know how to like make it clear to them like this is how you have to see it. This is how you have to do it. Everything is about a hack and about how to do it quick and fast, and I'm like, it's not. It sucks. It sucks, and you just got to figure it out. So I think I will. I just haven't figured out how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, with YouTube, that is a thing because so much rides on the click, right? And
Yeah.
so it's narrowed down to like these quick psychological kind of hits that people will get so that they're clicking on it. But I always
Hmm.
say, and this you probably hear this, well, probably not in real estate, but it's like sell them what they want, but give them what they need, right?
Yeah.
So it's like maybe it is a matter of just still talking about it, but trying to package it in a way that is kinda like a hack, but it's not a hack, you know, that's
Yeah.
just the reality of YouTube. It's like, you gotta win the click, and you know what people need, and at the end of the day, I think you'll probably find a way to incorporate it because you'll end up being so tied to that information
Mhm.
and knowing that that's truly the solution that you're gonna wanna help people with that, you know?
Yeah, I also don't feel like I have it fully nailed down
Yeah,
either, like, so
yeah,
I
you're
think that's
still
it
figuring it
too.
out. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, I'm trying to figure it
Have
out.
you ever thought about going back to school about that?
No, no,
No.
no, because I've thought about it, like, I think about
Mhm.
this every week, but what I keep going back to is that I think we're in a time now where
Need a degree.
we don't need a degree. You can
Mhm.
make
I agree.
money so many different ways. Actually, one of the things I'm starting to work on, I have this idea, which I don't want to fully say, but like I have this idea for an app that would
Mhm.
be really beneficial to my audience, and I would probably make it free for a long time.
Mhm.
So that's also another thing that I'm working on very slowly because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know how to make an app.
yeah, yeah.
But
But
I
with
just had this like
AI,
I had this
there's
inspiration last month. I'm like, this does not exist. It should
mhm,
exist.
mhm.
And so we're gonna see how it goes. But yeah,
I
no, I
have the
have not considered.
I know I have the same thing for YouTube thing. It's like this does not exist. It really
Yeah.
needs to exist, but it's like, you know, even though they're saying like, oh, the vibe coding thing, like you still, what I'm hearing is that you still need like real developers. Otherwise, it's going to be
It's
a
hard.
crap product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I hate
Hmm.
how people are like, oh yeah, you can just prompt it and you make an
Yeah.
app. I'm like, it's
And
not
like,
that easy.
no,
Even on
because
the
I'm
no code, it's not that easy.
Yeah, because even, like, I'm making something that isn't necessarily, like, an app. I'm making something like an AI, like, YouTube coach that's gonna be in my program, but
Mm,
I started this process back in February, and it's taking because for it to be exactly how I want it to be, it's, like, the iterations and, like, trying to get it right, and I'm like, I'm so partly maybe my fault, though, because it's, like, it needs to be not perfect, but I'm like, if I'm gonna do something, I want it to really effectively sound like me, you know?
yeah. Did you
So,
hire somebody to help you,
I
like
did,
developer?
yeah. So it's even like it's not an actual developer, like, it's somebody actually helping with like the whole setting it up. It's still prompting, but it's still like it's kind of a prompt engineering thing. Even like the person I helped is like, yeah, I've never really this is actually even more so than like what most people want, you know? So even, she and the person on her team, they're both like kind of like, yeah, let's figure this out.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, yeah. But anyways, let's talk a little bit about AI and what do you think about the future of YouTube and being a content creator, having a personal brand and AI? Because I know you have some thoughts on that.
Oh my God. Okay. So I don't know. One day I'm having a panic attack about it, and another day I'm like, we're fine. We're going to be fine.
That's me.
So
That's a thousand
yeah,
percent me. I think that's everybody.
okay. When I first started I watched, do you know Gary Vee is?
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
I've seen him
So
speak in person too, and yeah, I haven't watched him recently, but I used to watch him all
Same.
the time.
I go in and out of him, but I got back into him probably 6 months ago, and the first video I watched was him talking about how in, a few years, we're all gonna be watching AI
Yeah,
creators.
yeah.
And I was like, and then I had, because this was around the time that I'm like, maybe I should go more full time with YouTube. And then I had a panic attack, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I need to figure out AI. I need to figure out how to create a person that's like me, but not me. So I kind of slowed down with that because I was like, we're going to be fine. And then I let it go and I thought, okay, if I'm building a community, um, that will mean something. I don't know what it means or what it says in the future, but surely there is some kind of a place for me in
Mhm.
this if I just keep learning and advancing with AI. Then I watched a video from Casey Neistat on YouTube the other day,
I
on
think
Sora.
it's like been in my watch later list. I think he was interviewed or was it on
He
yeah.
was. Actually, that was a pretty good interview, but he did a video on Sora, Sora, the
Oh, on
video
Sora. Okay,
creation.
okay.
And this was like, the video is so good, and they're making it into like a social media feed. And you can basically prompt anything. It looks exactly like you. You can collaborate with other people, and you're basically in this alternate world. And you would think that people would not want it because it's not real, but it feels so real. And people that have access are getting addicted to it. And I was like, I don't know. Like, so now I feel, and then I was watching another video yesterday, and he was interviewing a few creators, and they were saying that they have a few 100,000 subscribers, and they were saying the last like 6 months of videos they posted have not been them. It's been an AI person,
Mhm.
and the
Mhm.
person interviewing had no idea. And I was like, this is terrifying. But all I keep coming back to is like, I can't, it's going to take over most, but there's going to be, as long as you can adapt to it, I think we'll be okay. I have no idea what it looks like. There's always something new every single day.
Mhm.
So do you think we're going to be extinct? I have no idea.
I don't think so. I've done a lot of just like thinking about it and watching a lot of videos on it. And you're always going to get the guys, the tech guys, the first adopters are going to be all excited about it and be like, oh, yeah, this is it. Like I was just watching a video from this guy, Tom Bilyeu or whatever, Tom
Love
Bilyeu.
Tom Bilyeu. Yeah. Although he's like all politics now. I like his past stuff from like
Well,
8 years ago.
even his he's someone who's interesting in that, like, I don't know, he's very, 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 like, pro AI, and, like, AI world, like, the video I saw he was saying is, like, basically, we're all gonna be living in a video game, and we got, like I don't know if you ever watched that movie, or I read the book Ready Player One, and he equated it that our entire world's gonna be like Ready Player One. I'm like, "Well, that was, like, to me, a cautionary tale," because if you look at the real world they're living in, it was like The Matrix, it was, like, ugly, and they're all in these worlds. I was like, to me, that doesn't sound great, but there is always gonna be, I think, people that are there's gonna be he predicts there's gonna be a huge split. A split between the people like, there's gonna be, like, even, a resurgence of, like, Amish and, like, living like that, and then there's gonna be the people that are in
I think I watched that video. Yeah.
yeah, the
Hmm.
AI world, but then I don't know if it's gonna be that much in the middle because I do think that we're gonna probably it's not gonna be like what the tech bros say in the sense that like everyone's gonna adapt and everyone's gonna be really into it. But I also don't think like there's gonna be a whole bunch of like Amish people. I think it's gonna be people like you and I, people that are watches our videos. Other see, I work with creators all day long and like YouTubers and from what I see, it's like there's always going to be a place, like you said, the community. I think, and I do believe that something like YouTube is actually possibly going to be one of the, I don't want to say last places, but or it might even be the frontier of true human connection online. Because anything short form, I think, is already a very transactional experience. It's in the sense of like, it's that dopamine hit that you've talked about. It's either entertaining or it's hitting some kind of dopamine. And so, as long as that dopamine gets hit, I think people are going to be okay. And I think it happens a lot with short form content. The long form that I feel is different than short form is a true connection to the creator and that community that you're building. And that is where I think that the human connection and the human experience is always going to be relevant, because I don't really want to know a AI bot's morning routine. I don't care how an AI fits into clothes. Like, people say like, oh yeah, eventually we'll have like AI bodies or whatever. I don't know if people are going to really want that in that segment. I think in certain segments, like things like more like education, where you're sitting there and you're talking about education or whatever, like, yeah, that can be an AI person, because it doesn't matter, it's either you or the person. But if you're really sharing about your own human experience, um, I think that's always gonna have to be humans.
Yeah, so the video I watched on the guys that had been making, videos for 6 months with AI, it was all on news. And so
Exactly.
basically you're
So
just
that totally
regurgitating like
makes sense to me.
yeah,
Like news, and like, like entertainment reporting, right? Like e-news and all that kind of stuff. I With what you're doing, Elle, I just feel like you are sharing the human experience of what it's like to manage money. You're not sitting there educating people like, here's how you open up a 401k. You're truly sharing your own experience. So I think creators like you are going to continue to exist. And I actually been telling people that have more of education type channels that they need to either open it up more to their own personal lives, or have an element of vlogging or something that shares not just that talking head educational component, because that's where I see that can be just easily AI.
yeah. I feel that way too. I mean, I hope that we're right. I really do. Yeah.
I think the
But
fact that we're all hoping that we're right is hopefully gonna give us enough to, I don't say like fight this, but that desire for that community and the desire for that human experience is always going to be there. And I think it is. We're all humans. Like, I'm
yeah.
sorry, I don't want to sit like, if I'm just, yeah, if I'm learning, if say, we're like, okay, let's you and I do an app together, okay, and then I go onto YouTube and try and figure out how to learn an app. I don't care if it's a human or if it's an AI. I just want to learn that information, right? But if I'm really wanting to hear about like whatever it is, like a lot of things that people watch about relationships, about their skincare, about their what you're dealing with, their budgeting, like they want to hear how humans are actually experiencing it in real time and their raw emotions and feelings. And so I actually think there's going to be a rise in vlogging. There's going to be a rise in actual real life experience and sharing that as well, because I'm already seeing that. And I'm telling my clients, like, just to, even if it just, it's silly, you feel silly, just start vlogging maybe once a month, like just to get the hang of it. Because I do think eventually there's going to be a craving for that, because we're
And
going to be
going live too. Live is
going
another
live
one
is
I'm
another
seeing.
thing. At some point people can have live, who knows, but yeah, I agree with going live.
Yeah.
um but I do think there's going to be a rise with so much slop on YouTube that there's, you have people all over the world now, overseas, and now they're able to speak English through these AI avatars and this faceless YouTube channels. And at some point it's like, it's a lot of it is slop.
I do think that YouTube though is doing a decent job in the things that they're implementing to help creators and also to kind of negate some of the AI. I don't think they can do it entirely because there are some creative people doing some creative things with fully AI. And it's
But I
not
think that's
slop, but
actually fine. There's some AI channels that I watch,
yeah.
that are like full AI, and they're almost like parody type things, where I think it's really concerning. And this is where I really hope the tech companies, which I don't have much faith in them, but I hope that they protect their creators, is through using other people's
Yeah.
likeness without their permission,
Yep.
and what they're saying and what they're doing. So that is where I think they haven't. implemented anything yet because I don't think the AI tools or at least they're not widely adopted yet for that many people to do it. But I do think that's what's really scary.
Yeah, and this Sora thing, that is part of that. Like, when Sora goes live, because right now it's invite only, I
Mhm.
don't know how they're gonna combat because if you see this, it
Yeah.
is mind-blowing that you can anybody if you allow yourself to be a collaborator, I think that's how it goes, I'm not totally positive,
Mm.
they can make you do anything in any video, and it looks so real, and there is consistency. Like, that was the thing before, is that you'd make one character and then the next character looked totally different. It's totally consistent, you cannot tell the difference, it is nuts. And
Yeah.
so for short form video, it's gonna be a totally different game, I think, in a year or 2.
Yeah, because
So
people can churn out video after video after video.
mhm.
But yeah, what's to stop somebody from taking your likeness and creating a
Yeah, yeah, and is the onus on us or is it on the platform? That's what I wanna know too.
I think it's on the platform because you can't trust most people. There has to
Yeah,
be some guardrails around it, around the platforms that are making money off of it. They have some responsibility. I don't think they can be like, "Here are the tools, here's everything. Okay, I'm gonna trust everyone's gonna do it right." I mean, we know how that works.
yeah,
So
yeah,
there have to be rules. I mean, YouTube even has rules around certain things around, not allowing people to take other people's videos and upload them and all this stuff. So copyright issues and all that. So I think there has to be some, or if it doesn't come, it's not going to come from the tech companies. It's going to have to come higher up with the government
mhm,
laws. And there's going to have to be a lot of lawsuits, which I know there already are. There's got to be a
mhm,
lot of lawsuits. And then there's going to have to be laws in place that's going to force the companies to put something there.
mhm. Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so too. So anything that you would change about your experience on YouTube if you were to start over?
Nothing. No, I messed up so much. I can't watch early videos. I can't watch my video yesterday and I cringe. Like, I'm learning every day. I'm learning so much. But I wouldn't change really anything. In fact, like, honestly, the only thing I want to do, I'm pretty honest. I'm like 90% open, but there are a few things I don't talk about on YouTube, and I would even like to share those. I just Yeah, no, I think it's gotten me to where I am, and the fact that I am making money on YouTube and, like, a few $1,000s every month or whatever, it's so inconsistent, who the hell knows? Just by talking to camera is crazy, and I did that just by sharing my story and how I think, act, and feel, and I'm also feel like I'm helping somebody else in the fact that they can also relate and do not feel so alone because I did. I felt like I was a crazy person for a very long
Mhm,
time.
mhm.
So I wouldn't change anything, even though it's definitely messy and all over the place. I'm just figuring it out and just learning as much as I can. I'm just trying to be a student. I watch things all the time on YouTube, YouTube creators. I'm just trying to, yeah, figure it out.
And what would you tell somebody who's brand new, who wants to start a YouTube channel? What would be like your top 3 pieces of advice for them?
Don't think twice. Do it. You do not need a camera. You can use your iPhone. You do not have to go out and buy something. You have got to be authentic. And I think this word is used so much, but it is so true. If you are faking it, if you are putting on a show, if you are not true to what you are saying, people will feel it and they will know. Any artificialness, art is that even a word? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Comes
And
yeah,
inauthenticity.
may thank you. People can feel. So that and consistency. And I say this as somebody who was inconsistent her entire life. I think I was a little fortunate in that I was monetized fairly early on, and there were little signals coming in telling me that I should keep going through positive comments, through increase in views and subscribers, and then through income. But I knew that I would keep going no matter what that happened, if that happened or not. And so consistency is the most important. Just try to, I think Mr. B said this, maybe it was him, try to improve one little thing
Every
every
single
single
video.
time. Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, just consistency and don't try to be perfect. Do not try to be perfect because nothing is and it will come across that way.
Have you hit 100 videos yet?
No, I think I'm at I think I'm at 86 or 87.
Oh. What are
I
you gonna do
know.
when you hit 100?
Great question. I have no idea. I thought about this. I was like, do I just do a Q&A? But that feels kind of boring. I don't know. I don't know. I think I have probably a few months until I get there. Maybe, hopefully by 2020, before 2026, I'll be there.
Well, are you pretty consistent every week?
Every week I put, yeah,
Yeah,
I will at least do once per week without a
yeah,
doubt. It's like the
yeah.
most important thing in my life. I will
Really?
do
So
that.
since you started, you have not missed an upload?
I will not. It is non-negotiable. I have had times where I've had to film on a Sunday and then post
Mhm,
on a Sunday,
mhm.
where I've had to film really early, edit, and then post at like 7 or 8 at night, and I'll do it. It it's there's no way around it. I won't miss it.
And have there been any videos that you've uploaded that you're actually really surprised performed well?
Um, yeah, well, the one that did, not not really surprised. There are ones that that I'm surprised didn't do well, but the one I guess would be the products that I regret, like all of the luxury things I regret. But not really, because I don't have a lot of expectation fully with any video. Sometimes I'm like, this might do well, this might not. Like my declutter video, I knew would do okay because declutter videos do decent.
Mhm.
But I don't I don't know. Sometimes it's just like a hit or miss. I don't, you know. I couldn't even actually tell you fully what videos. Like I know the most recent one, but I don't know exactly what videos are doing better than others because I don't go in my back end. I really don't
Mm.
go in the analytics. I
You
don't
never look
study
at
it.
it?
No, because I should. That is a poor practice if you are a YouTuber because you have to learn to grow. But what happens is that I start over analyzing that and that
Overthinking.
becomes important.
Mhm.
And I don't want, I think at some point I will focus and I will go pro, try to, and focus more on that. But for right now, it just messes with my mind too much. And
Yeah.
so,
It's like you know yourself, and I think too if something's working, like you don't need to because I do think it's important to look at analytics, but I at the same time, there are some people that they overanalyze it and then it makes them stuck. And it's like going back to that creative process, like doing whatever you can to protect yourself in that creative process is
mhm,
the utmost important when you're on YouTube.
yeah,
Mhm,
yeah, yeah.
mhm.
So, mm-mm.
Yeah, and in any video that you uploaded that you thought, okay, for sure this is gonna do well, and it just flopped.
I can't tell you specific ones, but I know that the feeling was there where I was like, this is going to do great. And I couldn't
Mhm.
tell you a specific title. And then it doesn't. And I get that alert on YouTube and they're like, this is performing lower than usual.
Yeah,
Less
you're like,
viewers are
"Oh."
choosing to watch. I was like, okay, well, I failed at that one. And
Yeah.
I could dive deeper. Like I could do some research in AI and figure out what it was and why, but I just don't, not yet.
I mean, it's good to just do what you're doing. It's like you just move on to the next one.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm,
Just keep learning. I think what I will do is put all of my videos into, or maybe the comments of a video and put it into AI and just figure out if there's a theme or a trend and what I should focus on. I'll probably do that.
mhm,
But just keep posting really because like no matter what, I'm going to post. And
mhm,
I mean, I could make them better, obviously,
mhm,
but
mhm.
no. Mm-mm.
And what's been the most, like, shocking experience of YouTube since you've started?
Um Honestly, I would say, like, not really shocking. All overall, it's been just really positive, and I guess the most shocking thing, and this might sound so stupid, but it's monetization. I'm
Mm,
still surprised. Like, I know there's millions of creators that make money on YouTube.
mhm,
I just think it's crazy. It's just it feels too easy. It
mm,
feels too easy to be making money from this. I'm like, how is this actually real that I this happens? Like it shocks me all the time. It shocks
mhm.
me when I go into the YouTube studio and I can see the income going up from AdSense. And I'm like, this is just nuts. It's crazy. So that's the most
Yeah.
surprising for sure.
And what drives you? What's the thing that you're chasing?
Oh God. The thing that I'm chasing is Ah, financial stability? Financial stability. Yeah, because I feel like I put myself in such a hole, in such a bad place that I I just want to feel like I'm okay, and I also lack the ability to be unproductive, like, I feel guilty when I'm not, so I'm chasing that
Mhm.
too, but really just, I think financial stability and also to feel like I have some sort of a purpose, if that makes sense. I don't really know. I don't know. Um, Financial stability would probably be the biggest one. I just wanna make sure I can make up for past mistakes,
Mhm.
and I can just be okay in the next 5 or 10 years.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, I think you made a great decision by starting your YouTube channel.
Me too.
Yeah. I think that was a great thing. Well, Elle, thank you so much for coming on to
Thank you.
the show and chatting. I feel like I could talk to you forever about YouTube, about AI, about, money, all that fun stuff. So for people that aren't familiar with you and your YouTube channel, where can they find you?
Don't Be a Lemon on YouTube, and then you can find me on Don't Be a Lemon on TikTok and Instagram, but just go to YouTube because that's, like, the main page.
Okay, amazing. And we're going to put the links in the description below. All right, Elle, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.